Welcome to Everyday Kindness, where real-life moments of compassion remind us that even the smallest act of goodness can change someone's entire world. On a bright Saturday morning, Clara arrived at the local supermarket for her shift, tying her hair neatly and adjusting her red apron as she greeted customers with her usual warmth, unaware that this ordinary day would forever alter her destiny. Somewhere between the aisles filled with cereal boxes and the scent of fresh bread, a little girl named Evelyn, holding a stuffed fox in her tiny hands, began to crumble under the overwhelming noise of the store. Evelyn, who was autistic, found the echo of chatter, footsteps, and beeping scanners too much to bear, and though her mother Laura tried her best to soothe her while balancing a toddler in her arms, the moment Evelyn dropped her beloved toy, her fragile calm shattered and the world collapsed into chaos. As Evelyn screamed, covering her ears and trembling in fear, judgmental eyes turned, whispers spread, and embarrassment painted Laura's face, but then Clara, the kind-hearted store worker, knelt beside the crying child without hesitation, gently picking up the fox and saying softly, "Hey there, sweetheart, he looks worried about you. Should I help him get back to you?" The words, so tender and sincere, reached through the storm. Evelyn peeked through her tears as Clara placed the toy back into her hands and began humming a quiet tune that seemed to wrap the aisle in calm. Slowly, the child's cries subsided, her breathing steadied, and Laura felt a wave of relief. Yet, just as peace returned, the store manager, Mr. Turner, stormed in, his irritation louder than the noise that had frightened Evelyn moments earlier. "Clara, what on earth are you doing on the floor? Customers are watching," he barked, arms crossed. Clara, still kneeling, explained gently that the little girl was having a sensory overload, but the manager dismissed her compassion as unprofessional, snapping that she wasn't paid to play babysitter. Laura tried to explain that her daughter was autistic, but he waved her off, demanding order over understanding. Clara, heart heavy, quietly returned to her duties, pretending the humiliation didn't sting, not realizing that someone else had witnessed everything, a man in a navy suit, the company's CEO, Ethan Hale. He had come unannounced to inspect operations, but what he saw shook him. A child in distress, a compassionate employee kneeling to help, and a manager too cold to care. Ethan followed Clara discreetly afterward, watching her continue to serve customers with genuine warmth, helping an elderly woman find her groceries and a small boy locate his lost toy. Her kindness was effortless, natural. This is the kind of employee every company dreams of, he thought. But before he could intervene, Mr. Turner struck again later that day. Summoning Clara to his office, he told her she was being let go. "Your behavior earlier was unprofessional," he said without emotion. "We can't have distractions like that." Clara tried to defend herself, explaining she had only been helping a child in distress, but he silenced her, ordering her to turn in her badge. With trembling hands and tears she refused to let fall, Clara walked out, the sound of the automatic doors closing behind her feeling like the end of her world. That night she sat in her small apartment, unpaid bills scattered across the table, wondering how doing the right thing could cost her everything. Then, the next morning, her phone rang. An unknown number flashed on the screen. "Hello," she answered weakly. "Miss Clara Bennett," came a deep, calm voice. "This is Ethan Hale, CEO of Hale Supermarkets." Her heart skipped. She thought it was a prank, but the voice continued, "I was at the store yesterday. I saw what happened." Clara froze. "Sir, I'm sorry if I caused trouble," she murmured, but Ethan's reply stunned her. "You didn't cause trouble, you showed humanity. And that's something the world needs more of." Then he said something that made her breath catch. "The little girl you helped, she's my daughter." Clara gasped. "Your daughter?" "Yes," he said softly. "Evelyn, you helped her when even I didn't know what to do. You didn't know us, but you cared anyway. That's something I'll never forget." Tears finally escaped down Clara's cheeks. "I just wanted to help," she whispered. Ethan's voice warmed. "And you did. That moment taught me more about leadership than any conference ever could. I'd like to meet you." The next day, Clara entered the company's headquarters nervously, expecting maybe an apology or a simple thank you, but instead Ethan offered her a new beginning. "Clara," he said, standing to greet her, "you didn't just help my daughter, you reminded me what this company should stand for: compassion, patience, and respect." Sliding a contract across the table, he smiled. "I want you to lead our new corporate outreach and empathy program. You'll teach staff what true customer care means." Clara was speechless, eyes wide as tears shimmered. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Just say yes," Ethan replied kindly. She nodded, overcome, realizing that sometimes losing everything is just the universe's way of opening a better door. Before she left, Ethan called in Mr. Turner, the manager who had fired her. When he entered and recognized his CEO, his confidence vanished. Mr. Turner, Ethan said firmly, do you remember firing a woman named Clara Bennett? The man stammered, yes, sir, she caused a scene, she helped my daughter, Ethan interrupted coldly. You humiliated her for showing empathy. That's not the leadership we need. Mr. Turner's excuses died on his lips as Ethan continued, you're relieved of duty, effective immediately. This company doesn't punish kindness. The decision was final, and as the disgraced manager left, Clara stood silently, hardly believing what had just happened. Weeks later, Clara began her new role, traveling between stores, leading workshops where she shared her story and taught others the power of empathy. She emphasized how listening, understanding, and patience could transform the shopping experience into something deeply human. Ethan often joined quietly at the back of the room, proud of her strength. Evelyn, too, became fond of Clara, sending her little drawings of foxes, the same stuffed toy that had once been her comfort in chaos. One afternoon, as sunlight poured through the glass office windows, Clara looked out over the city and smiled, realizing that her darkest moment had led her to her life's true purpose. Months later, Ethan spoke at a company-wide conference with a photo projected behind him, Clara kneeling beside Evelyn in that supermarket aisle, frozen in time. Leadership, he told the audience, is not about authority or profit. It's about empathy. A single act of kindness changed my family's life and reminded me of what truly matters. The crowd stood in applause while Clara, sitting in the front row, wiped her tears, her heart full. Her story spread far and wide, touching millions online, becoming a symbol of kindness triumphing over cruelty. When reporters asked her how it felt to be a hero, she always smiled and said, I just did what anyone should do. And that, after all, is the message at the heart of everyday kindness, that compassion isn't a grand gesture, it's a choice we make every day, in quiet moments, when no one is watching. So the next time you see someone struggling, whether it's a frightened child, a weary worker, or a stranger in distress, remember Clara's story and choose empathy over indifference, because one small act of kindness can ripple outward, touching lives you may never even meet, and remind the world that goodness still exists. Thank you for being part of Everyday Kindness, where every story proves that humanity's greatest strength lies not in power or wealth, but in the simple courage to care. Herb.